Hey guys, and it's time for. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's time for collision predictions. Finally, AEW threw in a collision for their next show. And I'm just gotta say that. I remember watching AEW back in 2020 in the pandemic era, and AEW has grown so much since then. All AEW had back then was Dynamite. They also had Dark and Dark Elevation. Well, they had Dark at the time, but then Elevation came through in 2021. And those were AEW's shows. They did not have reality shows like Roads to the Top and AEW's All Access show. They did not, they had Unrestricted, but not very many people listened to that podcast. But here we are now. AEW removed Dark and Dark Elevation, which is kind of sad, but it's whatever. They threw in Rampage back in 2021, and it was a great show, but then it started kind of going downhill, even though I was still watching, because it had good moments. Don't get me wrong, Rampage was still solid. It just went downhill ever since they started taping Rampage. Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, so now Ring of Honor exists again. It's got more eyes than it probably ever has. And now we've got Collision. We've had All Access. Roads to the Top happened. It's incredible how much AEW has grown. And as an AEW fan, I am proud to say that Collision will be a very special show. It does suck that people aren't buying tickets for the shows, but ultimately it is whatever, because I'm going to be watching Collision still. I'm going to be watching Collision every Saturday. I've never been to an official AEW event, but I have watched every single show from Dynamite to Rampage, and I will continue to watch Rampage as well, by the way. I just don't plan to do any predictions or results for that. I will watch Collision. If Collision ends up not being a thing anymore, I will be sad, but it is seemingly going to be a long-term thing. But we'll just have to wait and see there. But Dynamite threw in a bunch of matches for AEW's Collision show. Rampage might too. I don't know. But there's already 5 matches listed here for Collision. I believe it's 2 hours long. So we might get more announced on Rampage. But here is the lineup so far. We'll kick things off with Buddy Matthews of House of Black taking on Andrade El Idolo. These two, I think, have battled before. I don't know if it's been on AEW, but I know they've battled before. This will be an incredible matchup between Buddy Matthews and Andrade. They're both talented, and they're both very capable of showing what they can do. This will be a good match. I ultimately think Andrade El Idolo is going to win. I also don't think he's a part of LFI anymore, which, let's be honest, good for him. Not that I don't like LFI. I think it's great what they're doing right now with LFI. I think Andrade El Idolo just needs a singles push. He's been underutilized for way too long. This should be his moment, and this should be his opportunity. I'm not sure if Andrade is going to be a heel or a face, but I don't care, because Andrade is talented, and he should be the one winning this match. Looks like Miro will be making his return too when he comes in action. He'll probably take on somebody of up in the enhancement talent or local talent. Miro will win that match. They might set up Miro for a storyline on Collision. I don't know, but it is exciting to see Miro come back finally. Miro needs to step up his game. He needs to get his momentum back, and he needs to hold the TNT Championship once again when he defeats Wardlow. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. I want Miro as TNT champion, or all international champion, or even a different championship. I don't know. I just feel like Miro deserves some sort of title. Then we've got women's tag team action when Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale takes on the Outcasts Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. This should be a good tag team matchup, with Willow Nightingale helping Sky Blue out post-match. Of course, Sky Blue did not become the Women's World Champion, but it was a good matchup. Nonetheless, Sky Blue put a lot of effort into this match. I'm sure Saraya will probably get involved somehow, which will probably lead to a trios matchup taking place, or maybe an 8-man, or maybe even an 8-woman tag team match. I don't know, between Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale, Britt Baker up against Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, and Saraya. That might be what happens, but at this point it's hard to know. I think Toni Storm and Ruby Soho wins. That is my point I am making here. The TNT champion, Wardlow, will also defend up against Luchasaurus. This should be an incredible match. I think we all know who's winning, though. It's going to be Wardlow, who retains the TNT championship. And ultimately, that is fine with me. I wanted Christian Cage to beat Wardlow. I figured he wouldn't, but I wanted him to. But Luchasaurus will throw out a big challenge for Wardlow. I honestly think the TNT Championship needs to be defended on Collision, because Collision's on TNT, and that the TBS title for Chris Statlander should be defended on Dynamite on TBS. But all the other championships, I believe, could be defended on either show. Tony Khan said there wasn't going to be a hard roster split, which kind of leads me to decide here, what's going to happen? I mean, I know Tony Khan said that there would be some members of the roster being featured exclusively on either Collision or Dynamite. But for the most part, he said there was no hard roster split. And you probably already saw Andrade say that he wants a hard roster split, which ultimately that's his opinion. I don't think Dynamite and Collision necessarily needs a hard roster split. A soft roster split works really well. But ultimately, throwing in people that are exclusive to other shows, that still works. The problem with that is some people are going to want to be featured on different shows still, and they're not gonna be able to get that. So that's the only upsetting thing within all this. By the way, guys, I'm sorry about that. That was a notification that I just got. Please ignore that. But now let's go on to the main event. The bout we've all been waiting for. The second coming of CM Punk. And the trio debut of CMFTR. With CM Punk, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler teaming up to take on Bullet Club Gold's Jay White, Juice Robinson, and of course the ROH World Television Champion Samoa Joe. He's already said he's not going to be a new member of Bullet Club Gold. It seems like the Guns will be members of Bullet Club Gold, which I think they fit well for Bullet Club Gold. I originally thought it was a weird idea, I'll admit, but I think it's a great idea now. I think throwing in the Guns for Gun Club works well for Bullet Club Gold. The Bang Bang Gang definitely needs some new members anyway. And they fit well with the hit and run tactics that Bullet Club Gold does. So, anyway, this trios match is the main event. And we'll also hear CM Punk talk and get some things off of his chest. Super excited for that, by the way. I don't know. This trios match feels off. With CM Punk saying that he has to get things off of his chest, I think he might be referencing the Elite here. I feel like he might be referencing also Chris Jericho. And he might also be turning heel here. I don't know. But also I've seen some people say, since he's got mixed reactions from people, that he should play either the face or the heel role, depending on the crowd reaction that he receives. I like that, I do. It's just... it's so difficult. Because in some cases, half of the crowd's going to love him, and then half the crowd's going to hate him. Like, that's not going to work well. How is he going to decide? Is he just going to be a tweener in that situation? That's the only question of that. Like, how's that going to work? But anyway, this trios match seems off. I don't know. As somebody... don't get me wrong, CM Punk's great. It's just, he's been very hit or miss in some of his matches. He's got great matches, like him and MJF. Those are amazing matches. His couple matches with Jon Moxley, those were good. But then he's got moments where he just absolutely sucks. Like in the moment with him and Hangman Page. Again, he did not deserve to become AEW World Champion at that time when he beat Hangman Page. That was very much not okay. And then he tried to do the buckshot lariat, which was just dumb on him, because he hurt his knee doing that. And then the all-out brawl between him and the Elite. At this point, we don't even know if this is kayfabe or not. Either way, it was dumb, it was stupid, because it got him thrown off of television for who knows how long. So, anyway, with all that, I do think CM Punk and FTR are going to be winning this match. Hopefully this match is good. I think FTR will be carrying the team. They might be carrying this whole matchup, honestly. But we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you guys for watching. But wow, I just can't believe how much AEW has changed over the past couple of years. All in at Wembley Stadium as well. It's still mind-boggling just how much has changed in just a couple of years. From AEW being a smallish company, from just having Dynamite and a couple of other stuff that they were doing, and until now. With the insane roster that they have, and all these shows that they have got, and also Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor, so much has changed in the past couple of years. So much. But at the same time, AEW has still managed to stay the same. Don't ask me why that makes sense to me, but it just does. Thank you guys for watching. This is TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. Oh, I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks again for watching, everybody.